Leandre Gottete-Gius.
Remember, when you see me in the streets, holler at me. Say, put me in the game, Coach Smook.
Put me in the game, Coach Smook. Put me in the game, Coach Smook.
Like, share, subscribe. You know we keep it live.
Put me in the game, Coach Smook. 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 Put me in the game, Coach Smook.
Like, share, subscribe. You know we keep it live.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go, man. How y'all this morning? AAA family. What's going on? Put me in the game. Somebody say it. Put me in the game, coach. How y'all feeling this morning? It's Friday morning, baby. We here. We got the energy. Do y'all got my audio? Yeah, I got my audio. I'm loud, ain't I? Yeah, we fixed everything last night, man. Great energy last night. Appreciate y'all for hanging out last night. I didn't go to sleep until this morning. So this show is going to be very direct and interactive and entertaining. I think we're going to have a lot to talk about today, especially surrounding last night's draft. That's what this segment is going to be. Lisa said I'm sleepy. No, I'm not sleepy. I'm actually up. Are you sleepy? Are you telling me you sleepy? I'm pretty sure you sleepy. Hardworking women out there in the world working hard. All my hardworking people. Appreciate y'all for tapping in this morning. Spending your Friday morning with your boy Coach Smook. Shout out to the big 9 in the chat on YouTube. We got 27 in the chat on Twitter, man. We're going crazy already. Appreciate y'all. Hey, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed. Share the video, please, right now. We're in the first 3 minutes of, we're in the first 5 minutes. So go ahead and share the video. Let somebody know that you're tapped in with Coach Smook. And we're gonna open the phone lines here in about 15 minutes. Just to do some interactive conversation things surrounding the draft. Yesterday's draft was very interesting. If you all tuned into the watch party, you saw a lot of our reactions. We were kind of just, I don't follow the NFL close enough to be a draft expert or to do a mock draft, right? I couldn't even tell you when my team has picks. I don't necessarily follow into the draft, but what I do is just follow what we get out of the draft and how it fits into the team based off what I seen last year. So got a lot of that evaluation done. And last night, I want to say we're going to announce some winners for last night's draft for the first round. The winners in the first round, what team I believe had the best pick, not necessarily the best player in the draft, but got the best pick for their team. and that can immediately impact their organization. And we'll talk about some of the guys that haven't been picked, that should have been picked, well, that we thought were going to be picked in the first round, or that we thought should have been picked. So we'll get into it. We're gonna get into it. And yes, my guy Dylan checking in. Rise up, baby. You see, I had to rock the colorways. I can't find none of my Falcons gear, man. I gotta get some more Falcons gear. But yeah, proud of the Falcons organization last night. Actually went in the draft and it looked like we have an agenda. We'll get into it. We'll get into it, chat. But before we get all the way into the show, make sure you all take advantage of all of the things we have going on here at the Coach Smook Network. Right now, let me fix my chair. Right now we have our merchandise, the red letter and white letter lineup. Red letter, white letter lineup. What's up, Rod? What's up, Lisa? How y'all feeling? Urban Essence, I see you. Stevie G, what's good? Davin, how you feeling this morning? Zach, how you feeling? God is good, man. I love seeing y'all faces when y'all pop up in here every time I go live, man. You know, I've taken a couple of hits this past couple weeks with losing people. You know, people that I know, people that were close to me, and there's people that I knew of, impactful people in the community that I grew up in. Lives just being taken, man. And you really don't. It's tough to deal with grief. So when you start forming a community or a group of people, like my homie said before, her tribe. Once you start finding your tribe, man, you start feeling a little bit more at ease in life, because even when it feels bad, you got somebody to rely on. And so I appreciate you all for showing up to this live stream every day. This is semi-therapy for me. You know, that's why I don't care about chasing clickbait. I like to keep it authentic, because if I'm authentic on this screen, I can remain as authentic as I am off screen. I could be authentic on screen. Okay. So I appreciate you all for supporting that. Authenticity above all, AAA family. Love y'all, man. Love y'all for real. And I'm praying for y'all too. Appreciate that, Rod. My Saints should have picked Shadeur, and Pittsburgh should have picked Jalen Milroe. Lisa, you know what? I think Pittsburgh did the right thing with going with their offensive tackle. It's so many quarterbacks available in this draft that could fit their style of offense. And I think they're in a patch here, so you don't want to go get a guy like Milroe that still needs development, that much development. Shadeur, I definitely, for Pittsburgh, I would have definitely went there. And then New Orleans, man, I'm not sure what New Orleans wants to do, man. We don't know if they're in a full rebuild. We don't, you know, there's talks of them having their eyes on a eligible 26 guy at quarterback. So they're supposed to be making some moves this season to acquire an extra first round 26 pick. Atlanta doing what they did shows you that they're kind of dialed in on waiting out what happens with Cousins, and then you know, invested in Michael Penix for the future. And then you saw what Carolina did. Carolina went and got another playmaker, man, and I think that was awesome for them, especially last night, man. Especially last night. The fact that Bryce Young is going to continue to, they're going to have to continue to put weapons around Bryce in order for the Panthers to have some type of success. So I'm trying to pull up my draft sheet. That's not the right page I'm looking for. Hold on, y'all. I can't find it for some reason. I thought I had it. Round one. Is that the crowd still clapping? Oh, that was the crowd. Y'all didn't even hear it. Can y'all hear this beat? I can feel it coming in me. Yeah. Don't get me started. Don't get me started, chat. Don't get me started. Do not get me started. We on the morning show. This ain't a gaming session. All right, Carr out for the season. Okay, so if Carr's out for the season, do you really dial in and go get a first round draft pick knowing Derek Carr might come back next year? Don't y'all still have Derek Carr locked up for like 2 more years? You got a rookie contract for 3 years, I think you start off. Booker to Dallas. I know he's just excited to be in the NFL. But I don't think wasn't Tyler Booker a Cowboys fan growing up? I think he's happy about it. It's a good pick for Dallas. That's a great player. But I think Dallas needed to go in. They need to go and get some playmakers. They need to go and get some playmakers. And I honestly, with Dak Prescott and his consistent play over his career, we saw Dak peak 4 years ago, and we haven't seen him go past that level. So we'll get into the conversation, man. We'll dive into it. Let me pull up this draft day recap. Is this it right here? This might be it right here. Okay. Yeah, here we go. All right, so we got it right here. We got it up now. Here we go. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to run it like this. All right, so hopping into the show, man. Hopefully y'all ready to get into it. I'm excited. This is gonna be a fun segment, kind of just diving into all of the talks around the players that did not get in. Unfortunately, last night, man, we saw Jalen Milroe, somebody I did not expect to go in the first round, and thought it would be one of those moments where you see somebody taking a real heavy gamble, and you didn't see a need for a heavy gamble in the first round. You saw teams really address needs throughout the draft. I look from the top 5 picks, man. You know, Cam Ward going to Tennessee. They were definitely going into this draft looking for a franchise QB, right? A future franchise QB, a dynamic playmaker, kind of that gives them the same lift to their organization or to their franchise like Mariota brought while he was there, right? Early, you know, I think they're more equipped to surround Cam with some weapons. And then you look at Jacksonville trading up to get Travis. That was a big move in itself. Jacksonville showing how serious they are about creating some more talent around Trevor Lawrence, who I believe has had a rough going to start off his career being with Jacksonville, but is a guy that's committed to development, and a lot of inconsistencies, but it's not just him, it's everything around him and that organization. Getting some buzz in Travis Hunter, getting a playmaker in him creates a more attractive destination when you're talking about getting a guy that can talk, be a likable guy that can get other players to come in, right? So yeah, he has more left, right? He has more time left. That's what I'm saying. Talking about Derek Carr. Then you go look at this is the winner of the draft of the first round to me. I know somebody said the Falcons won, but I think the New York Giants won by getting Abdul Carter from Penn State. Cause their fronts on both sides were trash. So you're going to get a playmaker that is basically on the D-line, right? You're going to get a playmaker in Abdul Carter. You add him to a defense that needs a spark, you know, in the Giants. So I like it. I like the pick for the Giants. Then you go down, you look at the Patriots going to get Will Campbell out of LSU instead of the tackle out of Missouri. That was one we weren't sure which way they wanted to go, but seeing them going to get a tackle that played in the played for a SEC program that generally produces quality offensive linemen. But Will Campbell and his reach at the tackle position, his length I believe is what I think the Patriots like about him. And you look at his passion, surrounding his passion, wanting to protect his quarterback. You know, his emotions last night, saying that he would die to protect his quarterback last night. That was awesome. That was awesome. I like to see that. You get happy just seeing, it don't matter who gets drafted, man. You get happy seeing them getting drafted, the emotions that spill over. Mason Graham is a guy I think Cleveland is going to be happy about drafting. I know a lot of people are like, man, go get a quarterback. Cleveland is where quarterbacks go to die. They've been having success going and getting veteran guys So I think that's what they're banking on, getting a bunch of veteran guys going and compete. And if they're able to go and get Shadeur today, if they go and get him today, because I think they have the first pick in the second round today. If they go get Shadeur today, I don't know how that pans out because he's not going to be the starter at Cleveland. I don't know how that plans out. I don't know how that what type of presence that creates. But I think Shadeur, and then we'll talk about it once we get to that second part. I'm not going to jump ahead. Where else? The Jets coming in. Well, we saw the Raiders. I like the Raiders getting Genji. That was huge. But the Jets going and get the Missouri tackle. Jets are showing you how serious they are about getting some protection for the next quarterback that they bring in. They're trying to bring in. They're trying to turn the page, right? The Rodgers episode is over. Now it's time to continue to rebuild. They were rebuilding last year. That's why they were, so up and down last year. They brought in a veteran presence to try to sustain it, and it didn't necessarily go as planned. Had a lot of locker room confusion and disagreements and lack of continuity. Right now, big pick that I like to look at, and I'm gonna go ahead and go to this page here. I'm gonna let y'all see what I'm looking at. I'm over here just looking. I ain't showing y'all nothing. My bad, y'all. Here we go. I got y'all right here. I ain't gonna do y'all like that. My bad. Dylan Durham. Emeka going to Tampa. That's going to be nice. That's going to be nice. Tampa's still going to have one of the explosive offense, man. They can stay healthy. They're going to be dangerous again. Like I said, this was a big pickup right here. If I had to rank it in for the top 32 picks, I would say this was probably the number 6 best pick. Because, like I said, Bryce Young and that Panthers offense, they need a lot of, just spots filled. You need a playmaker at wide receiver. You need somebody else in the running back room that can give you a change of speed type feel when they come in the game. You need a guard and a left tackle. You got one guard. He plays both guard positions very well. You need another one, and then you need a tackle. And I think you might start to see this team start to make some strides. Defensively, I think they're going to go in the portal. I mean, not going in the portal. I think they're going to go in the draft. They're going to go to get a linebacker, strong safety. Maybe a corner. They might go corner. But the Panthers aren't many pieces away from being a contender. We saw Bryce start to kind of feel his way into the league last year. And might see some upside for these guys. New Orleans going to get Kelvin Banks. This was a confusing one for me. Now, we have a Saints fan in here. Lisa, my sister. We got an Aints fan in here. I don't like this pick because I feel like, if anything, the Saints have resourced enough pieces around the quarterback to not have to go and get an offensive tackle. I think if you're the Saints, you're in the same boat as the Falcons. You want to try to vamp up the D line. You want to add a piece to your linebacker core. I think they could have went and got a quality guy in the first round for the defensive front and found just as good a tackle as Kelvin Banks with their second and third round picks, because they got 2 more picks in it. They got 2 third-round picks, I believe. I think you could have found some quality guys, and then you got 3 tackles on the market right now that you can go and fight for in free agency. Kelvin Banks, I don't think he's day one ready. Strong hands, slow feet. Very strong, slow feet. I like Mykel Williams to the 49ers. We know the 49ers saw their roster kind of get mixed up a lot after this past season. The 49ers is a franchise. I don't think we realize the 49ers, the San Francisco, not San Francisco 49ers, but the 49ers and the Bills, they're 2 teams that have been, and the Chiefs, have been in the playoffs probably the last 4 or 5 years straight, I believe. consistently going into, you know, the divisional rounds, the conference rounds, you know, and getting to that level the game before the Super Bowl. That's a lot of wear and tear on your roster when you have a roster with that much continuity. And after year 4 or 5, you start to see the wear and tear, and you're not able to fit pieces, right? So now I see the 49ers, they look like they're trying to maintain that high level by strategically replacing pieces that they're seeing replacing spots where they're seeing the wear and tear. Saw their defensive front, their edge rush in particular, not be as effective last year as it was in previous years. So they go and get a guy from a system at Georgia, from a system under Kirby Smart that has translated any player that's came through Georgia, Alabama, LSU, Penn State, Wisconsin, Nebraska. Those defensive players, they've transitioned to the NFL and done great. I mean, have had long stated careers, successful careers. May not be marquee headline players, but a lot of players from those programs get to the league in those defensive schemes and they have success. I think you see a guy like Mykel Williams have a great time, career start off with the 49ers. Tyler Booker, we talked about Tyler a little bit. I think he goes right into Dallas and finds himself fitting into an O-line that I believe was pretty decent already last year. I think you need more playmakers around the quarterback. And then I believe Dallas needs to go and get somebody to push that quarterback. My personal opinion. Dallas has a solid defense. I think you just go all offense in this draft. I think you go all offense, stack that offensive side up with a lot of young faces, a lot of young talent that you can develop over the next year, 2 years, right? Watch evolve. And then as you transition from Dak Prescott, you already have some established pieces, some experienced pieces that's ready for your next quarterback. Got some crazy good quarterbacks coming out next draft too. 2026. So hopefully Dallas is on to something. Jerry Jones may not be as senile and done as we think he is, right? It might not be his time. I said Jerry Rice. Jerry Jones. I said Jerry Rice. All right, looking at Indiana Colts, Tyler Warren was the surprise for me. I think he's probably the second most athletic tight end in this draft. The other one was Lovelace from Michigan. I like him. He's probably the best tight end in this draft to me. Jalen Walker to my Falcons. Rise up, man. Beefing up our defense. This is a guy that can play inside linebacker, can walk down to the edge, play the wide 9 technique, come off the edge. He can cover downfield. Great tracking speed. I like him for Atlanta. Something to help us beef up our run defense, something that we struggled in last year. Secondary was pretty good last year. So would have loved to win and got this guy, though. If we was going to add some depth to our defensive line, I like Walter Nolan to Arizona. He fits that culture. His build, his frame fits what Arizona has kind of made themselves the face for when it comes to their defensive linemen, right? Dallas always drafts well. It's in free agency where he was to bet facts 100%. Can someone explain the hype around the Colts pick? You talking about the tight end? Tyler Warren? You mean the most complete? He's probably the most complete tight end in the draft. Not the most athletic, but the most complete tight end. The reason why the Colts pick him over Lovelace is because he gives you more consistent blocking factor than Lovelace and any other tight end in the draft for that reason. And mind you, we got C.J. Dupree and Robbie Oots in this draft. Two guys that run block, pass block very well. Pass pro very well. And he makes them look not novice, but he looks a lot more polished than those guys. I keep accidentally clicking on this doggone thing. So, Cincinnati Bengals going to get Shamar Stewart. That wasn't a surprise. We know the Bengals want to continue to beef up their defense. The Seahawks adding to that offensive line. They struggled in the run game last year under Ryan Grubb. A lot of people want to put on Ryan Grubb. I think they just had an offensive line problem early in the season. And you saw a quarterback in Geno Smith, very experienced, kept that offensive flow with some solid play calling in the pass game. Tampa Bay getting Emeka Egbuka. is crazy. Does that mean you get him and Mike Evans? We got to check out the Tampa Bay roster sometime this year before NFL kickoff. Denver Broncos getting Barron out of Texas. That's a hot pickup for them. Denver always seems to pick up some quality secondary guys, right? Pittsburgh going to get the defensive tackle from Oregon. That was a weird pick for me. I feel like Pittsburgh's defense was solid. Maybe they might be doing some in free agency or in trades in the offseason that you know they're going to surprise some people. But that was a different pickup for me. I really thought Pittsburgh was going to go and get Shadeur. I really thought they would turn the page and go get Shadeur. That I feel like he's the perfect fit for what they want to do going in the future, but they don't feel like he is. So Pittsburgh's lost, in my opinion. Amari Hampton out of North Carolina, that dude is a freaking sneaky athlete. If you haven't watched North Carolina, if you didn't watch North Carolina the past 2 years, you missed out on a specimen right there. Matthew Golden out of Texas, we know what kind of receiver he is. He's just consistently gotten better every year. Wasn't necessarily a pop off the paper type of player. You didn't talk about him every week during college football, but he's a player when you turn on Texas's film, he got better every game, every year during his collegiate career, especially this last year at Texas, with guys like Isaiah Bonds being bust. Minnesota Vikings go and get the guard Donovan Jackson from Ohio State. You know what's crazy? Minnesota is probably the only team. They're probably the most set up team right now to make a real playoff push in the NFC North outside of Detroit. Like all of the competition that came out of that, Detroit is going to have to come back and run that back. And I think it's going to be a different type of style of approach to playing Detroit this season, right? Especially their offense. I think their offense caught a lot of people by surprise last year. Now, looking at what they did to go, what Minnesota did to kind of combat what happened in Detroit, in their games against Detroit. Detroit's front on the defensive line whooped them. So they go and get a talented guy, an athletic guard. This is like everybody talks about Tyler Booker's athleticism. Donovan Jackson is a very athletic guard. Yeah, a lot of people were shocked by that pick, Davin. Shout out to the Big 23 in the chat. Make sure y'all run the likes up in the stream. Do not forget, guys, if you're here right now, you can become a member of the AAA family. Support a full-time creator, a full-time businessman. Listen, I do this full-time now, y'all. Like I have my brand and everything, but we do this full-time. Like we spend a lot of time now. I didn't realize it till like probably last week how much time I sit on the phone talking to a journalist, talking to recruits, talking to recruiters, talking to coordinators, talking to player directors, GMs, all of these things that we like. And it may not be the Ohio States and USCs that I'm talking to every day, you know, but networking is networking. There's a group of JUCO coaches and D1 AA coaches that have just as much attachment to the draft as former players in the NFL, because that's what's happening. A lot of players that I watched growing up are now coaches, and they're in the business now, and they're in the industry. And fortunate for me, you know, I had family in the NFL, so I got to see a lot of these guys and know a lot of their history that are in the business. Not necessarily the players, but the people in the business now. Not the guys getting drafted, but the people that are in the business. So we're very fortunate to be in the position that we are. And I'm grateful for y'all because y'all the ones keep sharing it. And I think people are really starting to wanting to talk with us. And speaking of wanting to talk, man, we're going to go ahead and get ready to open the phone lines for y'all. Yeah, y'all like them segues. Segues on Big Go today. I ain't even playing with y'all today, man. Segues on Big Go today. That boy sounding like he got a real TV show now, huh? Y'all stop acting up, man. Who put me over there in the corner? I probably did it by accident. All right, let me get in here. Open the phone lines up. We got 5 minutes before we open the phone lines up. And when I open the phone lines up, I'm typing on the wrong keyboard. I got too many keyboards over here, y'all. I got 3 keyboards over here. All right, we not gonna open the phone lines up just yet. We gotta wait 10 minutes. All right, it's loading up. All right, so check this out, chat. We got Jackson Dart. This is the pick right here. This is the pick where we can have a debate right now. And I want to know in the chat. Better quarterback. Better quarterback. Better QB. Dart. Sanders. That's the poll in the chat right now. Better quarterback right now. I want y'all to answer that while I do my digest on this. Now, the Giants traded with Houston to come up and get a quarterback. They got this pick earlier in the year with their trade. Before this year, I want to say. They go, and it was a lot of talks about Shadeur going to New York. Right as the pick started coming out, and this is what I was, going back and watching some things, getting information this morning. Right as the picks came out, it was being said that the Giants staff started looking at when we want to, the offensive style that we want to portray. A guy that fits and transcends from where he played at the collegiate level to what we want to do at the next level. I mean, at this level, at the NFL level. A guy that has experience in that is none other than the youngin' Jackson Dart, right? Lane Kiffin's system has transcended to the NFL, a lot better than most. Has his quarterbacks done such? No. And to me, that's a problem. That's a problem. When you're talking about development, a guy's developing at the NFL level and then guys developing through college. Jackson Dart to me is the most underdeveloped of the two quarterbacks out of Sanders and Dart. But the better quarterback, I gotta be honest, Jackson Dart. He's the better quarterback. He's the quarterback I could see going and year one in the system, literally being molded. He got molded into Lane Kiffin's system. He's a moldable quarterback. He's a quarterback that if you change coordinators, you're not worried about him kind of carrying. And it has nothing to do with smarts or anything. It's just the style of quarterback that he is. He's a moldable quarterback, which is a good and a bad thing, right? I look at Shadeur. He's a dynamic playmaking quarterback, right? Dynamic playmaking quarterback. But can Shadeur stay within the system? Because his film will show where he gets outside of the system for no reason a lot, right? And you want to see the consistencies. You watched his pro day workout. It was not the cleanest, and it looked like everything was kind of just, you could tell it had been scripted so much that it didn't look natural, right? And you want your pro day workouts to look natural. Jackson Dart's pro day workout looked natural. His pro day, even with the amount of throwing that he did, the script that he got was from a previous, he did his research. It was from a previous quarterback that he was being compared to based off of his evaluations and reports from GMs and teams and organizations. His quarterback comparison, he went and he threw a similar script to that QB in Trey Lance. So you look at him, and I think they might have snubbed one. They might have got one from under us. New York might be on to something with Jackson Dart. Me personally, I would have went with Shadeur. I just like the dynamic playmaker aspect that we see thriving in the NFL right now, right? And there's nothing wrong with either quarterback in my opinion. I just like the dynamic accuracy on the move with Shadeur. Everything pops for me with him other than the ability to be shaped into, like, he's literally played in his dad's style of offense since he's played football. He's always had an offense catered to him. That's the only knock, and that's not a knock on Prime coaching his son and setting him up for success and develop him into a quarterback. But when now it's time to really hand him over to a system, and it's something that he's not necessarily familiar with based off what he did in college in your system as his coach. You got to kind of see where, if that was the GM's thinking based off the reports. Great pick by the Giants. Tennessee going against, Tennessee, the guy from Tennessee coming to Atlanta, James Pierce. That is huge. When I called this one last night, my brothers, they were laughing at me. They was like, Atlanta ain't going to get no more defense. And I said, you right. We're going to mess it up. We're going to mess it up. I said it. Atlanta but, yeah, we went and got us a shooter, baby. Got us a shooter. And my boy James Pierce, y'all saw what he did to us at Tennessee. Across from us at Tennessee, every year we played him. James Pierce was a dog. That's going to be good for my Falcons. Baltimore Ravens getting Malachi Starks. Y'all know Baltimore seems to always go and get quality secondary guys. Baltimore always goes and get quality running backs. They continue their trend. I think Marlon Humphrey just got released. Malachi Starks coming in at that safety position. Day one ready. He was day one ready as a true freshman 3 years ago. Detroit Lions getting the defensive tackle Williams. That was a good pickup for them. Like I said, their defensive front needed to be boosted a little bit. They're going to continue to pad that defensive front, especially the interior. They did good. The Commanders going to get Josh Connerly from Oregon. Confusing pick for me. The Commanders did not need an offensive line. Jaden Daniels and that offensive line looked great last year. They lost one piece. You go and find another veteran presence. I don't think you go and get a tackle. And Connerly has some short arms for a tackle. So we're going to see what that's all about. Very athletic, but he just got some short arms. Maxwell Harrison out of Kentucky was a huge surprise. I thought Trey Amos would be the one to go to the Bills. I thought the Bills would go and get Trey Amos out of Ole Miss. The Kentucky cornerback, he's good, but I don't think he's better than Trey Amos. Short and sweet. Philly going to get my boy Jahad Campbell. Philly is really the masterminds of the NFL right now. Philly is pulling what Robert Kraft was pulling during the Tom Brady run era of Patriots, where they just went and kept getting quality guys. The more they win, the more quality guys they kept adding. And it was like guys that you couldn't believe were getting pushed down in the draft. And it usually happens. It usually happens like that. And for the guys that are good at college level, sometimes it's good that you get picked late in the draft. Josh Simmons going to the Chiefs. Probably won't see him starting this year. Chiefs not ready to start making those huge changes just yet, I don't believe. And that goes to the round of 32, the first round of our in this year's NFL draft. So clearly we all gonna have different opinions about doggone, what if I was just saying? We're gonna have different opinions about teams pickups, right? But a lot of times I think we forget that these are rookies, right? And a lot of times in today's NFL, your rookie tackles, your rookie defensive ends, defensive tackles, linebackers, these guys are expected to be day one ready, right? They're expected to be day one ready. When you look at last night's draft, do you think everybody in the first round picked a day one ready guy? If so, leave a comment. Let me know who you feel like didn't pick a day one ready guy. Let me know in the comments. We'll get that clipped out for a VOD here. The poll just closed, and we're going to see what our results is with the quarterback debate here. Shadeur or Jackson? We're looking at it now. It says 69% of you say Shadeur Sanders is better than Jackson Dart. Shadeur Sanders is better than a lot of you. I think he's a more dynamic playmaker, but I don't think he's a better quarterback. Both good quarterbacks. Do not get me wrong. I just don't think I don't think Shadeur is the better quarterback than Jackson Dart. For the Giants. Let me clarify that. For the Giants, I feel like Jackson Dart has a better chance of going in and getting molded into a system. He has a better chance of doing that than Jackson Dart. Than Shadeur Sanders. That's just my personal opinion. Now let's flip to this other conversation as we get ready to open the phone lines. Last night we saw Shadeur Sanders, a big name, not get picked up in the first round. Will Johnson, cornerback out of Michigan, was rated, I guess, the number 2 cornerback in the draft. The number 2 corner, rated corner. Didn't see him get picked up in the first round. And then our very own, on the bubble first round pick, Jalen Milroe, didn't get picked up last night. So we look at it and we say, oh yeah, he's trash. Shadeur is trash. They're trash. No. I think we have it all wrong. For you all that believe that, I ain't gonna say we. For you all that believe that way, I think you have it all wrong. And I'm gonna explain it like this. I'm gonna break it down like this. A lot of times you have quarterbacks like Cam Ward who's going to a team in Tennessee, right? Tennessee, we saw that offense look abysmal last year. I have yet to see, other than Jaden Daniels, right, who actually came into a good situation at Washington. Washington had a solid team. Jaden Daniels walked into a great situation last year. And the difference between Jaden Daniels and a lot of rookie quarterbacks is Jaden Daniels was making his first NFL start at the age of 24, I believe. So he was grown. He wasn't developing anymore. He had been in college for 5-6 years or however long. Michael Penix, same thing. Once you seen him get his action with the Falcons. The thing with the draft now, you have a guy in Cam Ward who spent 5 years in college football, 6 years, right? You see him get picked up by Tennessee. He's basically a pro quarterback. You just saw him solidify himself as a pro style quarterback with a lot of playmaking ability, strong arm, checks all the blocks at Miami. Go get him. Right? Shadeur, 21, right? 21 years old now, right? Going to be a real rookie coming into the NFL mentality wise. Still hasn't seen as much football as Cam Ward, right? But he's also possibly going to be going into a situation where there's a lot more set up around him for him to develop. So you look at what Cleveland has, offensive line, solid. Nick Chubb at running back. Going to be able to find pieces at the wide receiver position. I think they got some quiet pieces at wide receiver position. If Cleveland goes and gets Shadeur, he's walking into a good situation to where if he goes in the camp and he exceeds a second round picked standard, you're setting yourself up for that big second contract, Shadeur. And if I'm Shadeur, I'm not tripping because for me, I'm not, and this ain't no slight at him. He not living off daddy money. Prime has shown his kids how to create their own revenue, right? Create value for themselves, how to run their own businesses. All of his kids have their own brands, businesses, things that they're doing outside of what he does, right? So it's not that he's hurting for money. If I'm Shadeur, my mindset is this. I'm going into this draft wanting to get picked and wanting to show that I am not living off of my dad or whatever. This is me. I'm Shadeur Sanders, the football player. I am Shadeur Sanders, not Deion Sanders' son. What I do on the field is what Shadeur does. And I think that's a good move for him. And also from a mentality standpoint or a mental standpoint, I think it's very humbling for a very confident. Some may deem it as cocky, but I think Shadeur is very confident. And he got it honest. Look who his father is. I don't think you could live in the house and be timid. Not live in the house and play sports. The game that your dad, come on, man. They literally have a show. They literally gave him a nickname of the marquee moment, prime time. The prime time, like that's crazy. So I like that for Shadeur. Now, Will Johnson, that was kind of confusing for me to not see him go in the first round. I just felt like Trey Amos and Will Johnson were like your top. They're your top three. They're in your top three, top five corners. Those two and their coverage ability, the man coverage ability that they showcased at the collegiate level on multiple different body types, right? And their range, ball play, ball hawk ability. These guys are two quality DBs. To see Will Johnson and Trey Amos both slide down to the second round, kind of confusing, but I look at how the draft went and where guys went, who picked up what and what got picked up. This second round is going to be very, very loaded. Very, very loaded with talent coming off the board. We're going to see a lot of guys come off early. Will Johnson is going to be one of the guys. Shadeur Sanders, right? The biggest issue is he has all of Prime's personality and persona, but he isn't the generational athlete that Prime was. They hated Prime too, but couldn't deny his ability. 100%, Davin. And I think Shadeur has. I don't think he speaks or carries himself in that same light as his father, right? The energy is there. You know, you can tell that it's rubbed off on him, but I don't think he feels like he was the only quarterback. I just think for a lot of things that people were saying about him and his skill set and what he was doing on the field, they were acting as if his dad was the one actually doing it. I could play my son all day. It's up to him to go out there and complete them passes, man, and make these throws and break tackles and, you know, extend plays and throw 30-something touchdowns and 4K passing yards. It's up to him to do that. So I think that's the sense he kind of carries himself like, yeah, y'all forget that I still have to do this work. Like, I have to do this. So, great point, though, Dav. Great point. Saying a player that's getting drafted in the earlier rounds would be crazy. Saying a player. What? Davin, you know what? A lot of organizations were more so talking about Will Johnson as far as his ability to float in the secondary. Nobody felt like he was just a boundary corner. You know, they were because I don't know what this draft evaluation was. Was it speed? He ran a 4.5 at the combine, I believe, or his pro day. Quality guy though. I think he's a guy like DeAndre Baker. Might not have the best workout, but you put him on the field and he's a freaking dog, man. He's a freaking dog. But then we got to get over to Jalen Milroe, where we were sitting at on our time. Phone line is open, 334-625-1121. Jalen Milroe, Bama fans, talk to me. Him not getting drafted in the first round, I don't think that wasn't a surprise for people that know football. If he would have got drafted in the first round, that would have been a surprise. If he would have got drafted in the first round, that would have been a surprise for me. I think that would have been a part of the excitement. So, let me see. I got to figure out which thing I got this routed to.
Call from Zach Willie.
Let me see. Let me make sure I got it routed right, Zach. Give me 2 seconds. We got Zach Willie on the line, y'all. Chat. Hold on. Give me 2 seconds. Zach, can you hear me?
Hello. Hello.
Hold on, Zach. I gotta I forgot I gotta plug the what you call it in. Where my other cable at? Okay, there it is. Or is it? Hold on, chat. I'm trying to get the phone line set up. My bad. I'm missing the cable. It wasn't plugged in. I'm sorry. I got y'all. My bad, chat. I forgot all about the new setup. I ain't did the new setup on the phone line yet. Hold up. I ain't did it on the phone line yet. That's on me. We got action. All right. So then we got this. All right, we should be good. All right, Zach, you can call back. Call back 334-625-1121. Y'all go ahead and call in. Let me get the call-in number out here so y'all can see it. Call now 334-625-1121, and you can be heard on the phone line. Hopefully. Let me know if y'all can hear Zach.
Call from Zach Willie. To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
Yo, Zach, what's up, man? You in the game? Talk to me, my guy.
What's up, Coach Smook? I was waiting for you to get the phone line situated, but yeah. But and going off what you were saying about Milroe, I would have been surprised if Milroe got picked in the first round, because I'm got to be honest here. I don't think Milroe is a first round talent. First round talent is a quarterback that's developed and possibly pushing for a starting job, in my opinion, in the NFL. In my opinion, and Milroe is not ready to push for a starting job yet. Not saying he can't or he won't. I'm just saying in this moment right now, he's not ready for that kind of pressure.
100%, Zach. So, in the moment, where would you see Milroe going in the second round? I mean, do you see him going in the second round? Do you think he's a third round draft pick? Do you think he's a fourth round? What do you think Milroe is going to end up dropping to in the draft?
I think he can be late second round, early third round.
Okay. Now, who's your team? Who's your NFL team, Zach?
Honestly, I don't really watch the NFL that much. I just watch former Alabama players when they're on TV.
Like a true Bama fan. Oh my God, I think I had so much in the state of Alabama, and it's not foreign because we don't have a pro team. So I transcended to the Falcons being so close to the state of Georgia, in Phoenix City. So I kind of just was a naturally surrounded by a lot of Falcons and Cowboys fans. I've never liked the Cowboys. And so I just kind of wrote with the Falcons, especially when Vic, 2001, when Vic became the quarterback. So, yeah, man, draft going crazy. What do you think about players? Some of the other players in the draft from Alabama, Tyler Booker getting picked up by Dallas, Jahad Campbell getting picked up by Philadelphia. What are your thoughts on that?
I was shocked that Booker got picked that high in the first round, because I thought Jahad would go before Booker. But now, does that mean that I'm not excited for Booker to go to Dallas and don't think he won't have an amazing career in the NFL? Of course not. But I'm just saying, for me, that was a little surprising that Booker went that high. I honestly, I forgot he was in the draft, going into the draft this year, because with us doing everything to grow the channel and everything, it just slipped my mind, And so, but yeah, I'm happy for Booker at Dallas. I'm ecstatic that Jahad went to Philly to go up there with Jalen and Smitty and all of them. But yeah, and I was shocked by Will Johnson falling out of the first round. And not saying I was surprised, but at the same time, it shocked me because he was a first round talent in my opinion. Watching him play the last 2 years. I mean, we did play against him in the playoffs in 2023, and then last year in the bowl game last year. I don't know if he played in that game. In the bowl game this year, but but watching him play, I thought I was kind of surprised that he fell out of the first round.
For sure, Zach. For sure, man. So overall, man, I think we're gonna end up seeing a good second round, third round draft. A lot of Bama players should be coming off here in the next 2 days. Hopefully we have our full roster. And I misquoted yesterday. We actually have 12 Bama players in the draft. I forgot to mention Robbie Oots. I forgot to mention Graham Nicholson, Nesbitt, our long snapper.
Yeah.
And there was someone else I forgot to mention, guys. And I'm a horrible person for forgetting. But those were the three. Those were the three main ones. I didn't mean no disrespect, guys. I appreciate all y'all contributions. I was just going based off the article, because some guys they'll graduate and enter the draft, but they're going in as an unsigned free agent. They're going into the draft as unsigned free agents. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see how this day unfolds. And Zach, as always, man, appreciate you for calling in, my guy.
Oh yeah, roll tide, Coach Smook.
You already know what time it is, man. Roll tide.
Yep. All right.
Yes, sir. Shout out to Zach, always calling in, man, showing love. Listen, I just put a comment in the chat, man. We got time for one more call. Get your voice heard. Hashtag put me in the game, coach. Let's get it popping. And while we wait for the next call to come in, my thoughts on the Jalen Milroe situation. All right, this is where I was going to get to as we kind of dial back the conversation and create more clips around this. I want you all to understand this. I don't think Jalen Milroe was better than any quarterback that got drafted in front of him, that has been drafted in front of him. Let's not get this. But if you're going to get Jalen Milroe, I'm a firm believer in a guy like Jalen Milroe has to be my system quarterback, right? You don't go get Jalen Milroe and hope he could be something else next year or the year after that. You just continue to develop him in a system, in your system, because he fits your system. And that's what his career is based off of. That's why you see guys like Russell Wilson leave a system that was developed for him in Seattle, go and he leaves and he struggles, right? That's why I believe if a guy like Lamar Jackson had to go somewhere else, he would struggle. Saw the same happen with Deshaun Watson. You have systems that are made for you that you fit and that you get into and that you thrive in. So Jalen Milroe has an opportunity to go and be in those type of systems. Is that system in Dallas? Is that system in Seattle? Is that system in we don't know. So I look at this whole draft and I'm like, man, this is going to be intriguing for a guy like Jalen Milroe. Now, I wanna say one last thing to the people that kind of just, continue to bash Jalen Milroe, Shadeur Sanders. I want to tell y'all this. It's funny that you all have all these negative takes and all this BS to say about the black quarterbacks, or just the African American athlete in general, right? And it only gets like this because it's never truly about football. Cause anybody with eyes could turn on the tape and you can tell who a better athlete is, or who are most electric, who is a more electric athlete, or who is quote unquote better, right? But it seems like when it comes to our African American quarterback, and I'm gonna continue to say this, I don't care how anybody feels about it anymore. When it comes to the African American quarterback, if they're not head and shoulders separating themselves as a dual threat quarterback, then they never get the respect or get the leniency of developing into a archetypical quarterback. And I'm kind of sick of the narrative. So people are talking about Shadeur Sanders not get picked in the first round. You know how many quarterbacks have won Super Bowls that have not been first round draft picks, right? Everybody dogging Jalen Milroe for not getting picked in the first round. Jalen Hurts is a NFL championship quarterback. He's an NFL champion, Super Bowl winning quarterback. And the same narrative that everybody gave him, he need to go to running back. He ain't this, he ain't that, he can't pass, all this stuff. He's a NFL champion. He's been to the Super Bowl twice in 4 years. Or 6 years now, right? 5 years? 5 years now? When the boys came out. Jalen came out 19. So going on 6 years in the league. I think you all are I think a lot of the haters and the people who really just hate to see African Americans thrive without blemish. They hate to see any type of positive recognition. And why does it have to be that way? And it's sad that it's from the fan base in which he shouldered. Like, he carried this fan base through the saving transition. Jalen Milroe did. Shadeur Sanders and Travis Hunter and that group that transferred in with Coach Prime, they're the reason why anybody is even going to Colorado. Nobody was Juju Lewis, the 5-star QB that's at Colorado right now. He wouldn't even considered Colorado if Coach Prime and Shadeur hadn't done what they had done during their time there. So why is it always that we got to talk about, we see a statement because he didn't get drafted in the first round. Shadeur didn't get drafted in the first round, right? Oh, he's a locker room cancer. No. He's not a locker room cancer. He doesn't like mediocrity. He doesn't like the fact that people get mad at him, that he's cocky or confident. I say cocky. I'm gonna say cocky. He's cocky in his ability because he put in the work. His dad was one of the greatest defensive backs all time. You think he was gonna let his son think that he can get by carrying his name? No, you're gonna work for it. You're gonna work for it. And so to sit there and say stuff like he's a locker room cancer when everybody that's ever played with the young man will publicly say, and we can even go deeper. I could be more petty. Every black, white, Hispanic teammate he's ever played with, from the high school level on up, y'all got to remember, there have been a lot. Shadeur has played with a lot of teammates that have been in the public eye since he was in high school. If he was a bad teammate, something to be out right now. He's been the talk of college football, or in the talk of college football, for the past 3 years, 4 years. To get to the collegiate level, go to Jackson State, play 1 year at D1AA, then come to Colorado for 2 years and be a dog amongst the top 5 in rankings of QBs through your 2 years of starting at Colorado. I think you're a quality quarterback. And I think you're a quality teammate to be able to have wide receivers come in the portal, right? Y'all think, man, listen. It's a reason why wide receivers aren't jumping in the portal going to Auburn. If Jackson Arnold was that good, wide receivers would be jumping and going to Auburn. They got room for 1 or 2 portal assets, wide receivers, big names. When Spencer Rattler went to South Carolina, you didn't see nobody run after Spencer Rattler. You didn't see nobody run with him and say, man, I want to play with you. So y'all keep talking about where guys get placed. I can understand. Talk about the evaluation of Jalen Milroe's inaccuracies and inconsistencies. That's fine. But don't start talking about, it was part of his NIL deal. That's the only reason he was the starter. Bullshit. Bullshit. If you really think Coach Kalen DeBoer, Courtney Morgan, all these grown men who got hired to do a job, right, that have been doing stuff their way, coming to Bama, and it's been successful. You think they came to Alabama and were told, you, in order for you to find success and to be okay and be accepted, you got to play Jalen Milroe? You think they did that and went and game planning it? No, that is not the case. So for all you boosters, all you message board watchers that keep trying to spread that narrative, Tony Sakalis and all you guys that pick up on that stuff and like to spread it, it's a lie. It's a lie. Stop it. Jalen Milroe's draft stock is where it is because of his situation. If we're being honest, if you put Ty Simpson in the situation that Jalen Milroe has been in his college career, right? Which let's be fair, Ty Simpson has had every opportunity to be in the exact position that Jalen Milroe is in right now. Ty Simpson is a red shirt junior. He could have went to the draft this past season if he was good enough to take the job for Milroe. Don't matter who the coordinator was. If he was better, he would have been the starter. If he was better the year before Jalen Milroe became the full-time starter, he would have started. And there wouldn't have been no need for no NIL deal that forced him to be the starter. Remember, Jalen Milroe and Terry and Arnold, their Link NIL deal is what really funded or fueled the NIL push at the University of Alabama. Not Ty Simpson, not his skills, not what he did, not Kalen DeBoer. It was Jalen Milroe and his Heisman hype his first year as a starter. So all y'all fans that was lanking 2023 and flipped 2024 because he went through another major change, man, y'all keep on being fair weather. And all you media personalities and journalists and stuff that like to highlight the negative stuff that's said about our quarterback Jalen Milroe, y'all day coming, man. Don't let no negative stuff come out. I don't care if somebody come out and start trying to talk about me negative, because when somebody speak on my name, I'm gonna come publicly and address it. That's what I do. Authenticity above all. I am not afraid of my past. I am not afraid of what I was or what I am enjoying who I am becoming, who I have become. And through this process, what your judgment, regardless, you can stop watching my channel. It doesn't stop me from going live. It's about 12, 14 people that found out that the hard way. And now they're floating in different chats, doing craziness. Don't know who they are. Not enjoying the content for real, right? Because it's not authentic. So I take on the mentality like a Jalen Milroe, like a Shadeur Sanders. Keep counting me out. But every opportunity I get, you're going to hear about every opportunity. You're going to know about it. And I'm not going to have to speak on it. I'm just going to show you. Like Coach Smook Network keeps showing you. Ryan Grubb. No, let's go back. Let's go back to when it really started. Ryan Williams. Noah Carter. What else we was on top of when it came down to the grapevine? Colin Hitchler, coming from Wisconsin. We was on top of a lot of stuff just because we did the right thing, we were authentic. Stay authentic, Jalen. Stay authentic, Shadeur. Keep holding it down for the culture. I carry that topic personal. I carry that personally. I had my college coach, Coach Knapp, fought for me as a young black athlete. He fought not just for me, but the whole group of black athletes, African-American athletes that were on that trip in Tennessee. My third game as a true freshman in college. And we were being racially profiled. There were articles that were being written. And he stepped up, and when his ideology behind evaluating players, he was like, a white dude at wide receiver making catches is cool. Yeah, a black dude at quarterback standing in the pocket and lighting up defenses is cool. But isn't it just as cool if you switch the skin colors and it doesn't matter who's doing it, whatever team as long as you see success happening for your team? Isn't that what it should be about? Or failure? Isn't that what it should be about? Shouldn't be about the skin color. We shouldn't have to go and make shit up. Like the whole narrative about players, or all the skill players were going to leave if Jalen Milroe came back this year. You actually had people that wanted Milroe to come back for unfinished business. A lot of players on the offensive side, not the guys that hit the portal as soon as the season were over, that were dropping passes. You had a lot of guys. Isaiah Horton, he liked Milroe. He liked Simpson too. And then they got Russell. Isaiah Horton was coming to Alabama regardless. They had quarterbacks in the room that he was like, man, I go there, I'm eating. I'm eating. And they want me. So everybody that's continuing to carry these narratives and share these narratives, these negative narratives about any player, especially when you're supposed to be a Bama outlet. I don't get that part. I got called out last year by BOL when I was working with BFOY. I forget. I can't say the name. But when I was working with the other channel, I got flack because article or a statement was put out about a recruit that I had just got done talking to on live with you all. And this person that you all, a lot of people rely on for their recruiting information for Alabama, like straight up lied on this recruit as far as what he was saying as far as his recruitment, right? Quoted it. And I tweeted about it. Y'all remember? TW. He then text my boss and said, this what we doing? Yes, this what we doing. Because I'm sick of it. See, players get told by PR, I wouldn't do this if I was you. It's gonna mess up this for you. Right? Don't respond to this. I ain't gotta worry about all that. I talk with the best of them. But I can back it up too. Promise you. We ain't had a good squabble in a few years either. I ain't trying to fight. I'm too old to be fighting. But people try to take you there. I just hate the disrespect. I hate the hate, especially when it comes to the racial stuff. And you can see the puns in the comments. Even the chick on Twitter, y'all love her. A lot of y'all love her. I ain't gonna say her name. She know who it is. CM. She know who it is. Talking about Shadeur. How you gonna speak on Shadeur? You of all people gonna speak on Shadeur. Talking about what's called is much better without him. Anybody that gets Shadeur is going to feel like that. The league is going to feel the wrath of their young man once it clicks for him. I don't think he's going to be a day one sensation, right? But year 2, year 3, when he finally gets an opportunity, I don't think the moment's too big for him. I don't think we realize what Shadeur, Jalen Milroe, guys like that did with their situations. Colorado had how many returning players their first year from the roster? The first year Coach Prime took over. How many players did Colorado return from that previous year's roster, that 2-10 squad? And they turn around, they win 4 games, then they go this year and they missed the playoffs by 1 game? You think that's just coaching? You think they just ran the ball? They played in the same conferences. Y'all, Bama Nation, Bama fans, we gotta fans in general, gotta slow down. But I love how all the negative stuff comes up about the African American quarterback, but we can't go and talk about the other stuff that some of the other quarterbacks do. Caucasian quarterbacks. One thing I say this, and this is a joke, I ain't never seen no Polynesian quarterbacks get in no trouble. Name one of the Polynesian quarterbacks that done got in trouble, like got in some serious trouble. They hold it down, man. My African American quarterbacks and my Caucasian quarterbacks, we can learn a thing or two from Tua and all them from the West Coast that come from that Polynesian culture, Hawaii and all of that stuff. We can learn something from them. Their mentality is different. Their faith-based way of life is so direct and straightforward. It's admirable. I think a lot of cultures could learn from the Polynesian culture, especially in America. The American culture could benefit from so much hate. Only reason I speak on it, I started in the military. I've heard it all. I've slept next to dudes that literally came from towns where they don't have a black person. Literally in the field, freezing. I don't see how people in everyday life with more freedoms and more range of space to do better in life can use their time and space to create negative narratives, especially in this industry. Guys like me supposed to create the negative stuff, like content creators, media talents, not journalists, people who supposed to get in and get you the real story. I think journalism is so freaking contaminated, just like everything else. But when it comes to Bama, we're gonna start G-checking some of these team reporters and stuff. We gotta start G-checking them. Somebody at the university gonna hear our cry. They gonna hear our cry. They gonna hear our message. And even though I may not articulate it in the most peaceful way possible, I'm all for the positive things that support the University of Alabama. I'm not for the bashing of players, the bashing of coaches, outside of what they do for their job. You got so many Gump Twitter heads and so many talking heads that claim to be Bama talking heads and Bama analysts. All they do is get on the camera or they get on the app and they cry about what's wrong with Bama. And then in the offseason, they act like they believe so much so they can get clicks. They've been doing it for 6 years. So for most of you all on YouTube, that's all you know. But there's a new wave of creators coming through like myself. There's a Brody Smook on the rise. There's a lot of us on the rise. I forget the young lady's name at 100.9, but Ryan Fowler and 100.9, they got some stuff brewing. I'm watching. They ain't gonna tell nobody. And they ain't gotta tell nobody. They might not even know it, but they got some stuff brewing. 100.9 with some of the assets they bringing together. Bama Central holding a couple guys hostage. I wish I could give my confidence and belief in my vision the same energy I put behind it. I wish I could throw it at a few people in the Bama media coverage industry, because everybody think I do it out of hate. No, I don't hate a lot of things, but what I hate is fake shit. I hate it. I hate fake. I'm sorry, mama, for cussing if you end up watching this, but I hate it. I'm glad I ain't over my time. I started ranting at the right time. I get a little 10-minute rant. I hate it. I hate it, y'all. I hate fake. And a lot of those guys that report, they do it because it's a paycheck. They don't care about the players. They don't care about the families of the players. And that's why you see a lot of Bama parents, when they address a lot of these reporters and stuff, they do it subtly, because a lot of times their child, their son, or whoever's actually connected to the organization and knows the truth, they tell them, hey, don't even worry about it. Don't even worry about it. I can't tell you. It took a very, very respectable person that I admire and that in this industry, and that basically has helped me step by step when it comes to how I have networked through the University of Alabama. It took them coming out of their busy schedule and what they were doing, which is I'm grateful to God that he has people set in place to watch out for me when I don't even watch out for myself. So if y'all go look at Twitter, I posted about, all the negative stuff that these Bama reporters were supposed to be saying about Jalen Milroe, and how he ain't this and how players were supposed to be leaving. Like I went and I retweeted about that, right? How I was going to start exposing a lot of the same people that continue to use Jalen Milroe's downfall, or what is perceived as a downfall, for that personal gain. I was going to start like literally posting screenshots of text message conversations from May of last year, from April of last year, March of last year. A lot of these instances was happening during, and when I say this, you're going to see a lot of people start getting quiet on social media. That's why I'm going to say it like this. You're going to see a lot of them get quiet. It was a lot of stuff was happening between February of last year and April of last year during the spring. A lot of people introduced themselves to me and were doing things in my presence that I don't think they would want out in public, right? So before you go and start bashing a player that for literally just going out there and giving the best at the job that he's trying to achieve as a football player playing a sport, right? For a team that you're supposed to love, it's because he doesn't perform about you. You got to use that to continue to grow your career. I remember I got accused for clout chasing when I called somebody's content pure entertainment. What's clout chasing? A 20-second statement or a 17-minute video? You got people that's clout chasing really bad right now because social media is driving everything. People want to know stuff. So the first thing you put out, you already got the following. You grabbed your following while we were limited. Now that things are more open, you kind of have to stay out in front of things by making crap up to block people and distract them, so they're not looking in the direction they need to look in. See, Coach Smook Network, we don't go live about everything that breaks at Alabama. You want to know why? Because that's what they want you to see. I'm trying to make sure I get the right information about the stuff that really matters, about the BS false narratives that are being put out here. I'm trying to make sure if it's true, I'm gonna make sure it's true. If it's false, we're gonna come out and expose it. So I know I just kind of went on a rant there, but it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot, especially when you see people that came out, you know, were coming up in the industry with you, and then when y'all go separate ways, you see them falling into that same trap, the very trap that they were talking crap on and saying, now you're a part of that. Nah. That's why the collabs we've been doing are the collabs we've been doing. The people that I'm going to continue to collab with and do content with and support their content, they're actually putting in work. The others, jokes. And I'm gonna leave it like that. Say what you want. And this ain't nobody else's opinion, it's mine. I ain't speaking for nobody that's ever been on the screen with me. I'm speaking my personal opinion. So I'm gonna take my hat off. Let me stop. Oh man, I ain't gonna do that. I ain't even got the background. I ain't got my living room in the background. So I ain't gonna do it. Look who popping in the chat, man. I ain't heard from this guy. Some of y'all may be familiar with Curtis Jennings. Y'all may be familiar with Curtis Jennings. I ain't seen him heard from him about 3 weeks. So if y'all didn't know, I'm managerless right now. I'm firing him. I'm managerless right now. Left me out by myself, y'all. We've been putting in work with no managerial support. Lisa said, take my hat off. Lisa, I'm gonna take my hat off when I say this one. I'm gonna tell you that, Lisa, I'm gonna take my hat off when I say this. And I'm gonna look at me when I say this. When it comes to the AAA family, why y'all sent me that clip? Since we being petty and we closing out the show. For everybody that tuned in, I hope y'all enjoyed the show. If you made it to this point in the post live, if you made it to this point in post live, thank you for joining the show. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you all for being a part. Man, at least you got my hair. It's everywhere because it's growing. But thank you all for supporting. Like, share, and subscribe. If you're not a subscribe If you're not subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel. But don't forget to check out all of our apparel also, man. If you have not checked out our apparel, we got Yon Apparel, man, the urban streetwear. I'm about to get a whole wardrobe, y'all, so y'all can start rocking this stuff. I expect God t-shirts. Y'all want to get some of these? We got these on. We got these back in it. Y'all just seen me throw the Yon Apparel hat. Had to take my hat off, because you know when you take your hat off, it gets serious. That means it's serious. But the Yon Apparel hat, y'all see the seal right here, the big seal right there. I've been wearing the crap out of this one. The rips in the top, that's actual designed in there. I like that rugged look. So for all my Fisher hat people, that's a design look right there. That rip look, I like that. So for all my fashionistas, fashion heads, we up in our game. We up in our game with our merch. All right. And then also shout out to all of our sponsors, man. We got every sponsor in the book right now. Big sponsor shout out. Big sponsor / affiliate shout out. I don't know if I don't want to be misquoting stuff. I think we're affiliates right now. We haven't reached the level to get sponsorships, but our TikTok is growing like crazy, so we're going to be able to reach it. If y'all not following me on TikTok, y'all been missing out on some fire game sessions. They chill. They not just about gaming. We talk about everything. Y'all get to see your boy act up. We make music. We freestyle. We do all that good stuff. So you want one? I'm gonna get you the link, Lisa. Shout out to my guy Cy Gaddy, man. That's my brother. We grew up together. Grew up in the same neighborhood. Now we both business owners. He's a full-time barber and got his own clothing line. But we got that going. What else? Sponsors, Ghost Energy drink. Shout out Ghost Energy. I am in the process, not even gonna say it. Shout out Ghost Energy for allowing us to be an affiliate. We will be getting our promo code out. Hopefully this summer we'll have our promo code. Continue to like, share, subscribe on our channels, on all of our content. The more we grow, the better the more chances allow us to get these opportunities to create more exposure. I gotta make a run, y'all. Gonna get out of here soon. Wait, I'm looking at the message now. Oh no, I don't. So let's finish the show. And I ain't gonna edit that out. Y'all know how we do. But let's get in the chat. Where y'all at? In Smook we trust. No, don't trust me, man. Yeah, I'm on punishment for at least a week. Curtis, you gotta hit me up after the show. Smook not on the sticks though. Shoot, boy, you been miss. Zach, roll tide. Me and Coach was acting up the other day. Facts, man. That was funny. Zach, that was a good game too. My cousin scared to play me. Y'all see he came on the stream and he snuck a dub off on me. Snuck a dub off on me, so I'm gonna have to get my one back. And then I came back and I beat my other family. Shout out to Tim. We done had some good matches in the game. Last night was crazy. The last game I played though, I was getting EA'd. I couldn't make tackles or nothing. But with that being said, chat, thank y'all for being here again. It's been a fun show as always, man. And you all know, man, anytime y'all step in here and y'all show love, make sure y'all comment. All right, make sure y'all comment. Make sure you comment. Go check out VODs today. I better see it's 26 people on here. We should have at least 40 some comments on VODs today on shorts. Go check out shorts, y'all. Leave some comments. Help us grow. I know y'all be having time. Stop watching them other folks stuff and just go watch my shorts. Take 10 minutes to watch my shorts. We beg for likes, Dad. Tell them we beg for likes. So here we go, y'all. Thank y'all for being here. And remember, when you see me in the streets, holler at me and say, put me in the game, Coach Smook. Catch you on the next one.
Put me in the game, Coach Smook. Put me in the game, Coach Smook.
Like, share, subscribe. You know we keep it live.
Put me in the game, Coach Smook. Put me in the game, Coach Smook.